you don't know what that man does behind closed doors with his woman. He very well may be holding her accountable, but he doesn't have to display that to the world because that's his love. But with a pygmy, I think they have a little less respect because they're looking for
Well, I'd have to
validation
say is
from
the
someone.
opposite, right? So I would say that I'd say you have this reversed. So I think that when women are referencing a pick me, it's not that it's a woman who is seeking validation from men, but rather a woman who gets validation from men, whether she's seeking it or not. And this in turn makes women extremely upset because they don't generally get validation from men.
Well, the term pick me itself is like pick me. So
Yeah, I know. And then
it
they
is
get, but
women
what
who
makes the other
seek
women mad is
validation,
that they get picked. That's what makes them mad, right?
but
That's the
that doesn't
point.
No,
make
but
them
pick
pick
me is a
me's.
shaming term. It's like
Ooh,
you're
that's a
saying,
good
oh,
point.
So,
It
Andrew,
doesn't
I
make
have
them
a
a pick me though
question
because they have the validation.
because I do know that women get triggered by pick-me's. So, does a simp make you mad? Like, what do you think about simps?
Well, I don't understand what you mean by mad. Like, if you point to any societal ill, does that mean you're mad? Or is it just
Oh,
something you like to say so you
no,
can
I
be
was
like, "Are
just
you mad,
referring
bro?"
to like
Like, what is?
no, I was just referring to like men because they like typically call out other men and say that they're simps and stuff, and
Yeah.
I think
So,
it's
so here's
similar to
I'll
how
I'll tell you the difference. When a man's calling another man a simp, he's saying that this woman is not deserving of validation, and you're giving it to her. When women are calling another woman a pick me, they're saying this woman is getting validation which she deserves from men, and it makes me mad. That's the difference.
But who are you to say if anyone needs
Well, who are
validation?
you to say anything? I mean, who are any of us to say anything? We're
Right.
both giving opinions and our assessments on the situation. Neither of us are mind readers, but we can definitely assess what we see, right?
Right, but I just assessed what you said, and you said that
No,
a
no, no. You're not
woman
assessing what
is
I
getting
said. I'm
validation
saying
from a
what
man.
hang on. That makes no
No,
sense.
I'm telling you
Hang
what
on,
I
hang on.
said.
This makes no sense though.
No,
If
you're not making sense right
us
now,
try
right?
saying I'm
So what
trying
you
to assess
said
what you say,
was
then
if a
steel man
man
my
is giving
position.
validation to a woman, she does not deserve that validation. So my
Yeah,
question is to you,
that's why other women
who are
call
you
her
to
a pick me.
say who does not deserve
Yeah,
validation?
but
No, we're
see what
talking
you're
about sis right
doing. Yeah,
now.
but see what you're doing is a bait and switch. You're like, who are you to say that? Well, who are you to say it? We're both
Yeah,
giving. We're both. Hang
it's
on,
a
hang
valid
on, hang
question.
on. We're both giving a speculative opinion on a thing. Like, who are you to say anything about anything? It's just your opinion on it based on what you observe, right? Or do you have like a
Okay.
magic book where you can read people's hearts and know what they mean by things?
Okay, so let's assess the word pick me then. Can someone
By
define
whose
the word
It's right
define
definition?
the
here.
word
It's right
pick?
on my
By
screen.
whose
Okay, so
definition,
pick.
though? Do I get to pick a
Google
definition too?
or AI. I don't know.
Google? Well, the
woman who
Google's
acts
not
like
defining things. Google's pulling
where you
definitions.
at.
Okay, so this says that a pick-me woman is a woman who actively seeks validation from men, often by presenting herself as not like other girls and downplaying typically feminine traits. Essentially, trying to be the woman that men would pick over others, usually at the expense of other women.
Yeah. Do you understand what?
That's not right.
That's a good point
First,
too, at
first
the
of all, do you
expense of other
understand what
That's
a
men.
not how.
proprietary definition is? So the thing is like I disagree with this definition. I'm giving you a proprietary definition. I'm telling you that my observation is that perhaps that is what the word means definitionally from what your perspective is or whatever authority you're appealing to. What I'm saying is my observation is that when this word is used by women, it's being used by women in order to say there's validation which you've earned coming from men, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, it's a shaming tactic. It's to make women feel bad.
No,
I
it's
feel
not
like
to make women feel bad,
I
but
actually have a
again,
question.
Okay,
Well,
if
but
you're
what's
if you're
pick
at
me, you seek validation, whether you have it or
okay,
not. If
but
she has
I
that
know it's
validation,
to
good for
I
her.
know it's
But
to
if she's
you
seeking
guys are
it,
saying it's to
she's
make
not to pick
women
me.
feel bad, but how do you feel when the man says that you're a simp? So is that not the
No,
same?
it's not the same. Would you like me to explain?
Not
Here,
the
I'll
same.
explain it again so that you understand. There's a distinction here. When a man is calling another man a simp, he's saying this woman has not earned anything for which to validate her, and you're doing it anyway, generally because you just want to have sex with her. Like that's generally what's going on. When women are doing this, they're not saying this to other women because they think women want to have sex with that man. They're saying it because she's getting male validation, and it upsets
Okay,
them that
please
they're not
say
getting male
smacks.
validation. Oh, sorry.
But
Okay.
there are women who get male validation who aren't seeking it, and those aren't pick me's. The
And
ones who are
so you're
pick me's, the
making
ones who seek validation.
you would be either way. You'd be making my point. So
How
because
so?
the woman's perspective here is this is unearned validation, it makes them upset, and so then they call this woman a pick me. Just because they think she doesn't deserve the attention, then they say she's seeking the attention. Like, let me give you some key examples of this. Let's say a woman puts out an article that is pro male. Okay, this doesn't happen very often, but occasionally there are academic women who do. She'll often get called a pick me, even though all she's doing is getting validation from men who think it's earned because they agree with what she's saying, not because she's seeking specifically the validation of men. Do you see the distinction?
Yeah, I see the distinction, but there's also a difference between a woman who's seeking it and a woman who's not. We're typically not calling women who are pick me's the ones that are not seeking the validation of men. Women who could care less about what a man thinks but still get that
How do you
validation.
determine
Those
that?
are
Like,
not pick
how do
me.
you know if they're actively seeking it or not? Like,
Yeah, if I
I
saw
mean,
women, like, I would agree with your
a
point
real
if I
woman doesn't have to
saw
seek
if
validation from a man.
if I saw women who were like half clothed all over X, getting called pick me's by other women, then I would agree with you. But that's not ever what I see.
Did you
Instead,
say
I
half
hang
clothed
on.
all over
Instead,
X?
hang on. Instead, what I see is you go, girl. You're a girl boss. Live your best life, girl. Blah 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 blah. When I see a woman instead give like an academic assertion or a dissertation or an opinion that is pro man in any way, shape, or form, that's when they seem to call her a pick me. Not when she takes off half of her clothes and says, look over here, look at me, look at me. Then they go, you live your best life. So it doesn't seem to add up that your definition of pick me actually applies in reality.
Yeah, so a pick me again would be someone who is seeking the validation. So again, if that woman is on X or wherever she's on versus a woman who is fully clothed, either way it goes, neither one of those women care about that man's opinion. And earlier, when it was stated that a woman who not humiliates other women, but puts other women down for the validation of that man, that is considered a pick me. I applaud any woman who is doing what's best for her. But if you're putting women down in the process of it, then yes, that makes you a pick me.
Yeah,
If
but do you
you
understand
want the
application?
validation,
Like application. So let's say we had a grouping of definitions, but then when we applied them in the real world, that's not what we saw. That's what's
well, we
happening
can
here.
talk about
Hang on.
definitions.
I just let you finish. I didn't interrupt you once. When this happens, here's what I see happening. I see when women go online and go, here, look at my busty bra and me pushing my boobies up and everything else. There's tons of women underneath their account saying, you're a queen, you go girl, you rock, you're epic, et cetera, et cetera. The only time I see them get called, even though clearly that's male seeking, they're seeking male validation, clearly. The only time I see them attack and call them a pick me is when they receive male validation because it's earned through like academia or something like this, and they're actually saying things people agree with. Then it seems like when women actually attack them as pick me's.
So women who are doing X or whatever they're doing, I do not feel like they're seeking the validation of men. I feel like they're doing what's best for them,
Yeah,
because they're
they're
profiting.
wearing almost no clothes
Yeah.
to impress women, huh?
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, and it pays their bills.
Uh-huh.
So they're doing
But
what's best
Because
for
Miss
they
them.
want male validation. Who's
Have
paying
their
their
Lady,
bills? Women or men? Men. They want male
Miss Lady,
validation.
but
Like, what are you talking about?
validation has nothing
exactly.
to do with your money though. Like you can
Let's
pay
work
Yes,
money
it
is
and
male
does. What are
it's
you
It
not
validation.
talking
literally
about?
does.
Yes, it
no.
does.
Let's work is
It does
male
not.
validation.
It does not.
So
Also, let's work
if all
is
these
male
men
validation.
invalidated this woman, would they be sending her money? No, that makes no
I
sense.
mean, y'all don't validate her because she's not considered wife material. Is that correct?
That's not what we're.
That's
First of
correct.
all,
No,
first of
no,
all,
So
no.
since you
validation.
all are
If
not
they're sending her
valuing her,
money, they're validating her. How like? There's no way around that.
oh, I
She'll never
mean,
get
you
it, bro.
cannot
She's just
consider
gonna
that
argue.
validation if she's profiting though. So
She's
she's
That's
doing.
profiting
literally
from
validation.
Yeah.
men
It's
with
It's
not.
wearing.
It's
profiting
not their
off of the
validation that pays her
validation.
bills. It's their money. So
She's
if she's
profiting
And
off
so,
doing
of
what
okay,
the
she's
can
male
you
doing
explain?
to,
Can you
validation.
just help me with this? Explain to me how it would be that a man would send you money and that wouldn't be him validating you or in some way affirming what it is that you're trying to do. Can you even begin to explain that concept to me?
Yeah, because you all don't validate those type of women. You
That you're
validate the
that
women
doesn't
who
give me a
are clothed, who
what?
are not on X, who are not on OnlyFans. Y'all validate those type of women. Those are the women who y'all respect. The
Okay,
woman who is
please
on
say
X,
OF.
who
That
does
makes
not
okay
OF,
care
don't
about
again.
your
say O.
respect, does not need your
Why would a
validation either.
man
She just
send
needs
you a
money.
money to invalidate you? That's the
She
dumbest thing
does.
I've heard all day.
That's not dumb, love. So you're looking at validation differently. Validation,
What
we're
does
looking at a
validation
pick me
mean? What do you think
standpoint.
it means?
Host,
Bro,
can you
she
pull
don't
up the
know.
can you
She's
pull up the
not. She
definition
doesn't
of
understand.
validation so
She doesn't
everyone can
understand.
see?
Yeah, pull
Got
up
it.
validation so everyone can
Just so
see.
everyone, it's on the screen. I already knew this was going to be a part of the conversation. I'll make it
Ilani,
easier for
just back
everyone.
down, please.
The act of confirming something is
Okay,
acceptable,
so
true, or
Validity or
worthy.
validation.
accuracy.
The act. Listen, it's
The
the
action
act of
of
confirm.
checking or proving the validity
No,
or
that's
accuracy
only
of
first
something.
definition. There's multiple definitions.
Okay. The
Validation is
action
the
of
act.
making or declaring
Yes.
something legally or officially acceptable.
No, or the act of
Okay.
confirming that something is acceptable, true, or worthy. So how would I not be saying your behavior is acceptable if I'm sending you money for your behavior? That would make no sense. That would be a contradiction.
But they're still not the same women.
He's
Are
right.
you, are you
No,
seeing
no,
that?
those
She's
are the
still
same
arguing.
women by
Are
your
you seeing
metric.
this?
They're the same women.
That's
They're not the
validating their
same women though.
behavior.
Y'all
If you're gonna
don't
keep,
view them
if
the
she
same
wasn't
way.
getting
We're talking
paid,
about
she
If
wouldn't
how
be
I
you
doing
all
it.
okay,
view a
just help me out here. If I
If she wasn't
sent
getting
you
paid,
money because I wanted you to take off your clothes, how would that not be an act of confirming that that was acceptable? How?
you all are viewing these different women differently. So if you're viewing a woman on X who is doing what she does
Uh-huh.
versus a woman who is more conservative, you know you're not going to view them the
Can
same
you
way.
answer
And
you're answering
what
a
I'm
question I didn't
stating is
ask.
even
If a man sends a woman money to take off her clothes, how would he not be engage in an act of confirming that that is acceptable? How?
what you're not
That
understanding
man,
from my
answer
point
the
is that
question, lady.
you're
Stop evading and just
that
She
answer.
doesn't
that
understand,
woman
bro.
is
She
not
doesn't
seeking your
understand.
validation. That woman on X is not seeking your
I'm going to
validation.
try this again.
So
I'm going to try this again.
She don't
A
get it, Andrew.
man
She'll never understand.
pays a woman to take her clothes off. How is he not confirming that that's acceptable? How?
okay, so you can say it's acceptable because you're paying
Okay,
her.
thank you. So
But
that would be
again,
validation then.
okay, so now that you've gotten the answer you wanted, we're going to go back to the pick me woman and the woman who's on X fans who
Okay.
doesn't care about your opinion.
Okay.
So if we're talking about these two women, a
Uh-huh.
pick me is someone who needs that validation from men, that acceptance from men. You won't accept that woman who's on X or OnlyFans. You'll
Yeah,
accept
except
that
that they
woman
do if they're
if
sending them
she is
money by your own
fully
metric.
clothed and she is more conservative.
Yes.
So
So
we're talking about the
some
woman's
men will validate
point. It's
women.
actually
Some
not having to do with you all. It's having to do with that woman
that's
and how she
okay, this is
feels.
crazy. Listen.
She don't
If
get it,
even
bro.
if it were the case that there's some women who receive validation from men because they keep their clothes on, it's insane to say that women aren't receiving tons and tons of validation from men for taking their clothes off. You saying that some men have a preference for this behavior over the preference for this behavior has no
Referring
merit
to the
for
previous.
why it is that we see women mostly attacking other women who are telling women to keep their clothes on as pick-me's. Because that's what's actually happening. And that's not for male validation. That could be for all sorts of other reasons, including the society that they live in. So I don't even understand the
A
argument.
pick me cares about what a man thinks about her. A woman on X does not. That's the point I'm trying to
So
make.
does
That has
is
nothing to do
any
with
does
the
any
validation.
woman does any woman then any woman who cares what men think a pick me?
Absolutely.
So if
If you
so
care
any
about
woman
what a
who
man
cares
thinks
so if you
about
care what your father
and
thinks,
and
you're a pick
you're
me.
willing to put another woman down
That's
because
not what you
want to
just that's
enhance
not what
your
my question was. My question was
no, and I'm elaborating on my answer. So any woman that seeks
yeah.
validation or acceptance from a man and in the process puts down the next woman,
That's a
then she
qualifier.
is
I
in fact
didn't
a
that's
pick
not what I
me.
asked you. I asked you if any woman wants validation from a man, does that make her a pick me? I'm not asking for qualifiers. Answer that question.
So any woman that
Wants validation from a man, does that make her a pick me?
yes,
Well, then,
because no one
if
should
that's
want
the case,
validation from
then
anybody.
every girl who wants validation from her father is a pick me.
An average man, love, your father's totally different.
Oh,
But
now,
if
oh,
you're
wait. I
seeking
thought you just said
validation
that
from a
any
man,
woman who wants any validation from any
first of
man's a
all,
pick
a
me.
woman's father never needs his validation. She had that from day one. The average woman, I would hope. I'm speaking about the general man and the general
Almost
woman. If you're looking
almost
at a
every human
woman,
being on
if you're
planet
looking
Earth
at
wants their
a
parents to be
man,
proud of
you're a
them. What are you
woman and you're
talking
looking
about?
at a man, you need that acceptance and you need that validation from him, and you're willing to put other women down to get
Oh,
that validation from that man, then yes, that makes her a pick me.
Yeah, all you're
And
all
if
you're
you want
doing
to
is
refer
adding
back to her
additional
father,
qualifiers to
look,
the
if you want to
insanity.
refer back to her father, if you're having to step on your mother's
Hmm.
toes and downplay your mother and get in your mother's way of your father because you want his validation so bad, then damn right, it makes you a pick me.
I see. So if a woman wants flowers from her man, and that makes her feel really good, right? Meaning he's engaged in the act of confirming something is acceptable. In this case, bringing her flowers. She's a pick me by this definition. You
You want
understand
your
that,
man
right?
to do nice things for you. You don't need his
Yeah, because you're a
validation.
pick me by your definition. Because you want
You
validation.
want your man to do nice things for you. Your man now. We're not talking about just an average
No,
man
just a guy
walking
you're
on the street.
dating.
We're
Just a guy
talking
you're
about your
dating.
man.
Just a guy you're dating.
Oh, you want him to do nice things for you, but that's not validation. That's
Well,
not
okay,
validation.
validation. The
And
act.
if
Validation. The act of
you are with
confirming
a
something is
man, if
acceptable.
you're
That's
with a
it.
man that can't do something as give you flowers, then why are you with him? Like that's simple.
Okay.
How
That's
is
not
that
even
not
validation.
validation?
Yeah, that's
How is
validation.
that
That's
not
all validation.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
The
It's not
act of
validation.
confirming something is acceptable, true, or worthy. So if it is the case that the act of confirming something is acceptable, it is acceptable to give a woman flowers. Therefore, if you give a woman flowers, you are acceptable. That's acceptable. So if that's the case, it's validation. Yeah?
I don't think
No.
she knows what
No.
validation really
It
means,
still
though.
isn't.
For real.
Still
Just
isn't
have the whole
validation.
definition on the screen, love. I know what it means, and I'm highly educated.
I
You
see.
are confused.
You're so
You're
highly
highly
educated that a second ago
Anyway.
you said any man who at any time
Yes,
you get
any man,
validation
and I
from, you're a
stand
pick
on
me.
that, and I stand
Including
on
your
that.
father.
Yes,
That would be
sir.
any man.
If you are stepping on another woman's toes
Hmm.
to get that validation from a man, then
Hmm.
yes, that makes you a pick me.
That makes you a
okay,
pick me. So
It
now
sure does.
now the qualifier is if you're stepping on any other woman's toes.
Yes, because pick me's are often classified as
I
women
see.
who put other women down.
So if a
to
woman
make
wants to
them
have
feel good.
if a woman wants to sleep with your man and you step in and stop that, you by this definition now would now be a pick me. Because you're
That
stepping
I
on
would
her
never be a
toes to get
pick me.
validation from your man.
I would sure not be a pick me because she can have them. But
Well,
yeah,
so by your definition, if a woman wanted to sleep with your man, you wouldn't do anything to deter that because that would make you a pick me. Are you fucking serious?
are you asking if I would stop a woman to sleep with my man? That what you're asking?
Yeah,
Sleeping with my man?
yeah,
Ma'am, he's testing your logic and you're failing epically.
badly, badly.
No. I really want to understand this question. You're asking me if I would stop a woman from sleeping with my man.
No, if you would if you had a woman who you knew wanted to sleep with your man,
Yeah, wait, Nisha has
would
a
you
question.
encourage or discourage
I
it?
have a legit question because I just realized what pick me was today. So because I seek a male's approval for whatever it is under the sun, I'm a pick me.
And
Yes.
put down other women in the process.
No,
Yes, you are.
no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, but she keeps on adding that qualifier.
Just
Because it
getting
qualifies.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. But I'm testing the qualifiers. What I'm doing. What I'm saying to you is that the qualifier at here makes no sense. I'll show you.
You
If
guys are
it-
debating on the whole word on what she's throwing
Thank you.
in.
How completely useful for you to give us a recap of the debate we're currently in. So
Okay,
anyway,
calm
real quick,
down. I'm just
real
trying to
quick.
get clarity
We
on
were
the
what we were doing.
situation.
Hang on. You don't need clarity. Just listen for a second. We're almost done. We're literally
All right,
almost
go
done.
ahead,
We're
go
almost
ahead,
done.
rock out.
All right.
Go
So here's the thing. I just want to make sure that I got this correct. If a woman, you knew a woman wanted to sleep with your man, I'm not asking you whether you would let it happen or not. You just knew that she wanted to. Okay. This is now a fulfillment of her desire to do so. You barring that in any way, shape, or form, or trying to prevent her from going around your man, anything like this, that would, in fact, make her a pick me by this logic, correct?
No, because my man already picked me. We're talking about general men.
Okay,
You-
so
what?
you have a man?
What? So
I
wait,
have a
what?
man.
So wait a
Yeah, I
second.
have a
So
Ooh, So are you in a
what I was
relationship?
So
referring
you
to was
can
the
hang on, hang on, hang on,
married,
hang on.
general
Hang
men,
on, just real quick. I'll
general
tie it up
men
with this. I'll tie it
who
up with
are
this.
not
I'll tie it
who
up.
you
I'll
are
tie it
not
up.
in a relationship with,
Just
who you are
yeah,
not with.
yeah,
If you are trying to get their validation and
yeah,
they don't owe you anything, and
yeah.
you are putting down another woman to seek the validation from them, then yes, that is a pick
So
me.
let me get this right then. So you can step on the toes of another woman if it is the case that you were picked. Wouldn't that make all women pick-me's then?
No.
Well, then
No,
I don't
sir.
understand why. Why would it be okay to do as long as you were already picked?
You're
Pick
not
me.
understanding the logic of a pick
I
me.
don't
could never
understand
be
the
a
logic.
pick
You're
me.
right about
No,
that.
you're not. I could never be a pick me when it comes to my man.
So when you first started dating your man, I don't know if you're married or not to him, so I'll just say your man. So you're telling me that when you first started dating him, you weren't dressing a certain way or looking a certain way when you were around him to seek his validation in order for him to become attracted to you or like you or pursue you further?
I never changed how I dressed to get that man.
Oh my
I
God.
dressed
Here
the
we
But
go.
she,
same way before I
You
met
just said
him.
he picked
yo,
you.
can we
You
boo
just
her?
said
Can we
he
boo her?
picked
She's
you.
a liar.
So in order for him to pick
not
you,
being
he would
genuine.
have
I don't
to
have a
done
reason to
things
lie. I don't know
differently than
y'all.
other women.
Let's
So,
go. You're a pick me by your own logic. I don't care.
I mean, I don't care what you
Wait.
think I am, love.
I mean, no, I'm just saying by your logic you are. I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying by your logic you would be that.
No,
If it
by
is the
your
case,
logic,
if it
you
is the
think I'm a
case,
pick me
no, if it is the
because you're not
case,
understanding the definition.
here,
What
I'm
saying
using
pick
your
me is.
definition. Your definition is as
No,
follows.
you're not.
I'll give
Because
you
if
the
you
definition.
listen
Hang
to
on,
my
hang on. Let me
definition,
say the
then you would
definition. You can
understand
tell
that
me
I
yes
said
or
it
no.
applied for
Yeah,
general men, not
okay,
men
hang
that
on.
is yours.
Can
If
let
I
me
have a boyfriend or if I
let
have
me
a husband, I can
restate
never
just for
be a
clarity.
pick me when it comes to him
Calm
because
down
he's
for 1
already
second.
picked me. I'm
L-
calm,
Let
love.
me
Go ahead.
let me state your definition. You can tell me if it's wrong or correct. Then we won't be speaking past each other. Your definition of a pick me is a woman who wants a validation from a man, even if it's at the expense of a woman.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not
if
wrong
you
about your
have
hang on,
a
stop,
man,
stop,
I
stop,
don't
stop,
need
real
his
quick.
validation, and I don't.
We
because
don't
you
need
talked about a minute, love,
100,000
so
more
I need
words.
to
I
speak
just
to
want to get
you. No,
clarification.
you've given a million. You've given a
I
million.
just
Whereas
want
love, so let someone else
clarification.
talk.
Just want clarification.
So, if you are a pick me, that means you are seeking the
Yeah, we
validation of
know.
general men, not
Mhm.
your man.
I got it.
Why would you need to be a pick me for your man
Yeah, I get
if
it.
you've already been
I get
picked,
it.
So what
technically?
happens
Yeah,
to the
I
performance?
understand. What I'm saying is that here's your logic then. I'm going to give you your logical entailment. If it is the case that you're a pick me, if you're willing to step on the feet of a woman in order to get validation from a man, and then you say, but that's perfectly acceptable.
A man, not
Yeah, I
yours.
understand. But if you say it's perfectly acceptable to do that when you have a man because you've already been picked, then
I'm not
that
saying
will
acceptable,
stop,
I'm saying I
stop,
could never
stop,
be a
lady,
pick me
stop.
because
Just
he's
let me
already
finish.
picked
Let
me.
me finish,
Let
lady.
him finish, please.
I'm almost done.
Please.
If it is the case, then that it's perfectly acceptable for you to be a pick me for your man, then all women are fucking pick me's by this definition. All of them would have to be.
No, that's not the case.
It's
If
not the
that
case.
man has already picked her to be
Uh-huh.
his lady.
Yeah, 'cause so
you
she's
can't
a
be
pick me?
if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, so
You
she's a
can't be
pick me because she
if
got
you're in a
picked.
relationship. Being a pick me means you're seeking the validation. I have everything I need from my man.
Yeah, I know, but you're
So
still seeking
stepping on
validation
another
from your
woman's
man. You just think
toes
that's
to
fine.
smash my man would
Mhm.
not be pick me behavior because he's my man.
Well, what'd you
If
do
it was
before
a
he was
random
your
man, if
man?
it was a man that was not my man and I'm stepping on that woman's toes, then yes, that would be
But
pick
what
me
Yo,
did you
behavior.
yo.
do? What did you do prior to him being your man? Or what did women do prior to their
Get
man being their
validation from
man?
him.
Thank you.
He picked me. I didn't pick him. So
You still, bro.
You didn't want any
Let me
validation?
just say something. Wait. Let me just real quick, y'all.
but
At
I
this
wasn't
point,
Look,
you know
seeking his
why?
validation.
Let
I
me
was
say
not
something real
seeking
quick.
his
Real quick,
Uh-huh.
validation.
real
Sure
quick.
you weren't.
Other
Yeah.
women
You
down.
wanted
Yo,
everybody to
yo,
have
bro.
validation from him but
Can I
you.
say
Okay.
something?
Baby, I am the
She's
prize.
never gonna
So I've
stop.
never
She's
needed
never
to
gonna
change
stop.
anything I did
You see
to
that?
get a man.
I
All
want
right.
to say something. Let me say something.
You
real
guys,
quick,
I
right?
appreciate you letting me on the
Hold on,
panel.
yo,
You have a
Andrew,
wonderful
hold on,
night.
brother. Hold on.